Hi, Aunt Ruth. It's Jules' son, Steve.
Hi, I'm Madeline, Steve's wife.
We wanted to be among the many family and friends to wish you a very happy 90th birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, and wishing you many, many more healthy, happy celebrations to come. I first met you at Mary's birthday party. I happened to be in St. Louis on the same date of the party, and I come from a very, very small family, so it was a little overwhelming to meet 55 of Steve's cousins and aunts and uncles. And by the end of the evening, I knew everybody's name and knew how everybody was related to each other, but don't quiz me. I don't think I could come up with the answers today.
And probably the second time you all met was at our wedding. Now, that was 24 years ago, coming up in June. And we did the math. I'm the age now that you were then. We wanted to thank you so much for coming, you and Mary and some of the cousins. It really meant the world to us to have my family take the time and trouble to come all this way to be part of our special day.
Yes, absolutely. It was really wonderful that you all made the effort to come. I'm going to say goodbye because the rest of the stops on the memory train do not include me. So happy birthday and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
And now we're joined by Jules' other kids. It's Peggy and Vallena.
Hey, happy birthday!
Hi, happy birthday, happy 90th. Wow. Speaking of birthdays, when I heard it was your birthday, I wanted to go downstairs and see if I had any pictures or anything, and I found Mom's diary, and it had some really interesting things in it. She started every day, how the weather was, the chores she had to do all day, always ended every day with how many chapters that she read in the Bible. Pages and pages and pages about Mom and Ruby and Mary and their fellers. And their fellers in this particular case, this was 1940 and she was 17 years old. Her feller was Stokely Elliott. There was Monk Cunningham and Tommy Neese. And one story that she told that stuck out to me about them went Mary and Ruby and I went to Mount Cumming tonight with Stokely, Monk, and Tommy. We watched a house burn down, and then we got home about 9 o'clock. I got a whooping. I had a wonderful day. And then it also talked about different people that you might have known. There was Mrs. Ballard, who Mom cleaned for, I guess, all day and only got 5 cents. But then there was also Alice and LB, Ruby, Uncle Enoch, Mr. Ballard and Granddad, Aunt Agnes, Uncle Jim, Vernie Tucker, Myrtle, Billy, B.A. and Red and Frizzle. They were all friends of Harold, so they must have been maybe with the CCC. And whoever in the world Milton Morgan and the Duck Boys were. So I thought you might know them. There was also one about you and Alma and Thelma and Exie and Mom going to a place called the Frog Hole. Do you have any memories of that? Anyway, I just thought you'd enjoy them.
Well, I am interested in knowing, after she went out with all the fellers, we now know why she had to say her prayers. Probably the best memory for me, of course, is all the reunions we used to go to, getting together with the family, all the food that we would eat. There would be big spreads of food. We would all get dressed up in our Sunday best when we went out to church. And I remember one 4th of July, I ran down a hill and slid down the hill and fell and gashed my knee open and had to have it all sewn up. And I was hobbling around that 4th of July weekend, but I still wanted to participate with the 4th of July fireworks. So they let me light one. And I bent over to light the fireworks. And it went up just like that. And it flew up and singed my hair and came like this close to blowing my head off. So that's a nice memory. Grandpa used to get those Roman candles, and he would light them and he would stand on the porch and he'd shake them as they shot off, and he would hoot and holler as they flew out of the Roman candle. I remember that as well.
Yeah, that's safe fireworks. I remember with the reunions, just everybody always being in the backyard. And when you get up in the morning, Grandma would always be singing. She'd be up way before everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd have huge spreads for breakfast, all kinds of foods, just home, old hometown foods. But she knew that I didn't like that. So she always kept a box of cereal in the pantry for me to eat.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Well, she used to always make all those great biscuits where she put all the flour and stuff on the cutting board and dump the milk and the eggs in the middle and never spill any of it. I'd have had a mess. And she always had this great big platter of fresh sliced tomatoes for me. Always. And I'd eat every one of them. I'd never let those go to waste.
Well, and of course, when we had the reunions, there were cousins everywhere. So they had that bed in between the living room and the kitchen there, where there'd always be a passel of cousins sleeping in it.
I know what you mean, because I had to sleep with those cousins. I had cousins on my left and cousins on my right and cousins at my feet. I felt like a sardine in a can sleeping in those beds.
And you always heard the big clock going off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a picture that Grandma had painted that was in the living room. I believe it was like of a lamb laying down.
Who could forget the big porch swing out there on the porch, that big white swing. Everybody had to have a swing in that thing.
And I have here something that I got from when they were cleaning everything out, is the bottle opener that was on the one of the posts on the back porch there, right between the house and that big building they had back there that Grandma kept all her canning goods in.
Grandpa had the big garden back there. You'd always see him roaming around out there in his garden.
And 5 million Siamese cats.
There you go. They were everywhere.
Billy and Exie all lived in that house right next door.
And then later on, Jerry and Sue moved into the house next to that.
Well, another memory for me is when we all went to Wisconsin that time. You remember that, Val?
I do remember that. In fact, one of the real things I remember about that is Cindy had chicken pox.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She did.
She had to wear sunglasses the whole time.
Oh, yes. Gosh, what a memory. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was on a lake, and it was these cabins. And I remember we had we were there for about a week or so. It was a really nice time we all had up there in Wisconsin that time.
Right. I know there was a lot of fishing going on and a lot of men holding up fishing, or fish that they caught on lines.
Men did like to hold up fish back in those days.
They still do.
I think we had a nice relationship with Daryl and Cindy and Carla D and the whole family, because we visited them in St. Louis and they came up to visit us in Michigan. I remember in 1967, during the riots in Detroit, they came to visit us. And I remember Ruth saying that she had told her friends that they were coming to Michigan to visit, and all her friends had said, "You're going to Michigan? Well, don't you go near Detroit." Now, Detroit's on the other side of the state, but they were all concerned that she was going to get in trouble with all what was going on up there in Detroit.
One time when Mary and Ruth came to visit a little bit later, we were a little older, and I don't know if it was Bill Clinton was running for president or if he was, still governor. But they had the opportunity to meet him at some kind of a rally or something, and they just had to tell us how they got to shake his hand, and he was such a handsome man.
And all the places they used to go to, Shipshawana, and Paw Paw, and
Inwoods. Didn't they like to go to
Inwoods?
Yes. Yep. I remember
that was
that.
Grandma's favorite place, so she'd get those big plates for Grandpa.
We never thought that Mom had an accent, but when Ruth would come up, or Mary and Ruth, they always sounded like they had a Southern accent to me. But for some reason, I just got the impression that Mom had lost hers, even though my friends would come over and they'd go, "Is your mom from the South? Because she sounds like she's got a Southern accent." So I guess I just couldn't hear it.
Well, and I also think that when Mom went down to Tennessee, she'd come back with a stronger accent than she had before she left.
Right. But there are also good memories of going just to St. Louis just to visit. One specific time I remember going, was for Joyce Lee's wedding. That was just a big to-do.
Oh, I remember that too. Yeah, we were just little shavers at that point.
Wasn't that the
Yeah,
double
yeah,
wedding?
yeah.
Yeah, it might have been a double wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
You
I
guys
don't
probably
know.
know better than we do. You tell us. Was it a double
Yeah.
wedding?
There was a double wedding. I forget who else got married, but
Well,
somebody
you were a
else
few
got
years older.
married.
You probably have the better memory than we do.
Yeah.
Well, those are some of the memories we have. I'm sure there's lots we have forgotten about. We just wanted to make sure we took part in your special day. We have a couple of things going on here. We want to make sure we celebrate with you. So I've got a little bit of cake for you. Oh, there's it lighting. Yeah, there we go. It's lighting up. You guys have something as well, right? So we wanted to wish you a very happy 90th birthday, Aunt Ruth. We're so happy for you. Many years of health to you, and you're in our thoughts today.
Happy birthday, Aunt Ruth. Love you. You have a great day.
Happy birthday. Love you.